reading it. Good. Good. This is one time when theft's a good thing. That's what you wrote us. This one time theft's a good thing.
Nancy, have you seen that? You thought I was talking to you on the. Have you seen that where the guy goes to the Walmart and he's talking on the phone and people think he's talking to them? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Y'all ready? Okay, good morning. It's 10 o'clock. We'll call this meeting Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. Everyone, please rise. This time I'd like to call on Commissioner Watts to give the invocation.
Pray with me, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for the many blessings you give to us each and every day, Father. We thank you for the recent rain, and just watch over us, Father, and protect us. We ask that you be with those that watch out for our country and our county, Father, and in harm's way constantly. Father, we'd ask you today to be with us, guide and direct us as we make decisions that affect our county citizens, Father. All these things I pray in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Join me in pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Take your seats, please. Do have one presentation I'd like to make this morning. And Chief, are you going to represent the sheriff in this?
Yeah.
Andrew, it's my pleasure on behalf of the Wichita County Commissioners Court to present you as the Employee of the Month for May 2022. We appreciate your outstanding performance, service, and dedication to Wichita County. Thank you. Chief, anything you'd like to say?
No, sir. You did a good job for us. And of course, we see some overtime hours too. So, he's a good employee.
Andrew, anything you'd like to say?
Thank everybody for everything that you do and
I'm trying for next month's award too.
Yeah.
No, it's good to recognize those people that are carrying on and clearing the way for you, but you're doing a good job of coming along with them, so thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So y'all gonna make him stay their whole meeting for that?
It's cruel and unusual punishment.
Okay. This time I'd like to open the meeting at 10:03 for public comment. Anyone in the audience or on the phone? Yes, sir. Joe, go.
I'd just like to have the commissioners reconsider using these voting machines in the next election. There's been cases there in the last couple of weeks, one in San Francisco. They used the machines and the outcome there was 3 people that were running for office. Well, 2 of them were going to go on through the runoff election. But when they recounted and hand counted, they found that the person that was actually in 3rd place was actually in 1st place by the hand count. The machines had switched them. Another place in New Mexico, they did a hand count and found a similar problem. They're doing away with machines. Another problem in a county in Georgia, same problem. They're doing away with machines. I think it's time for us to do away with machines. Thank you.
The same machines we just, oh, sorry, can't ask. Okay. Sorry.
Thank you. Yes, sir, Mr. Hampton.
This Saturday is the 85th running of the Oil Bowl, the Shrine Oil Bowl. It's the longest high school all-star game in the United States. So I know everybody will want to participate in that. It's a measly $20 ticket to get in. You get a little wristband, and that entitles you to go to the basketball game Friday night at Ryder, and also the volleyball game at Ryder Saturday at 4 o'clock. So all of that for $20, and it's going to be in Iowa Park. You just easy little drive, exit there on
Johnson Road.
Johnson Road. Thank you. And go one just a little touch south. It's on the right there. Easy. They've been lovely to work with, and Commissioner Mall's going to sing you the national anthem. That'll be one of the first Commissioner.
Fully air-conditioned facility too. In the press box.
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
No,
All right. Any other comments? Okay, it's 10:05, and we'll close the public comments. I'd ask the court to review and take action on the consent agenda.
Motion approved, Judge.
Thank you.
I have
Yes,
a
sir.
question, Judge. On 10 only deals with the, our phone conversation in our meeting last week, you and I and Brennan, about the antennas.
Yes, sir, that's
Okay.
all it is.
Okay.
But part of what they're going to do when they do that, they're going to go ahead and when they run that, it's going to run the extra links at the same time, but I think they're throwing that in, so that's a good deal. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Mauler, second by Commissioner Cannon to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Okay. Item number 1 is review and approve the regular bills for payment or the county treasurer to disburse payroll and bill payments within 72 hours via U.S. mail, FedEx, UPS, or electronically unless directed otherwise, or may be picked up and ledgered in the treasurer's office. To have a motion to approve the bills.
Second.
Anyone have a question on the bills? Okay, motion by Commissioner Fincan, second by Commissioner Beecham to approve the bills. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 2 is discuss, consider, take action for the award of mortuary transport services. We received those bids last week, and Mr. Wall and Commissioner Beecham went over those. 2 bids were received as attached. Both bidders quoted $125 for pickup of body within the county, plus cost of the body bag if needed. Wichita Falls and Bombing bid $310.50 for the transport to Dallas for autopsy versus Howard Mortuary's bid of $500. It is their recommendation that Wichita Falls and Bombing is the better offer and should be accepted for term for 1 year with renewal thereafter as may be determined. Howard Mortuary may be selected as a backup supplier if Wichita Falls and Bombing is unable to respond to a request for service in a timely manner. What's the desire of the court?
Motion to approve Wichita Falls and Bombing as primary and Howard Mortuary as a secondary supplier.
I'll second
Let's talk about that just a minute, because, we've done that on some other materials because of their availability. I'd ask the homes to you all, or the services to address that. We'll start with Wichita embalming. How does that, would that work with you or not? I mean, I'm just curious.
Which is, that we were the first ones and they were the second one?
They'd be, if you all couldn't get to it, then we would call them.
Yeah, I mean, there's never been a time where we haven't been able to make it.
Yeah.
But that's fine, yeah.
Okay,
We've been doing this for what, over 10 years, I think?
yeah,
Right, yeah.
that's what I recall. Howard, we would ask you if you did that as a backup, then you do it at the same price.
The pickup price will stay the same. The transport price we'd have to discuss, because with the price of gas going up, I mean, that's really hard to ask us, to lose money.
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, I agree, that's why,
That's why we did it at that price, because gas keeps rising and, we just need to make sure that that's covered. So, but that would be something that we would need to discuss further.
well, that's what I would think. That's,
But we have no problem being backup, but I don't know that we could do it at the same price with them.
okay, and if you could, you're probably good at that price, but.
Exactly.
So, when we do that on commodities that we go pick up, then that's not it. It's having the material available for road work is where we usually do that for rock and that kind of thing. So, Commissioner, I'd ask you to consider revising. We just award that to the low bidder, and then if they come back, we would,
Do we ask our rock suppliers to,
We don't ask them to match the price.
no.
no?
Only thing I could see that this would ever come up is if, let's say you have your business, somebody there has some type of medical emergency, car wreck or something like that, would be about the only time it ever would. I don't know why we'd ask a second bidder to lower their prices. They gave us their bid. I mean, if we're unable to do that, I don't know why we wouldn't go straight with the one that has the second best bid. I don't know.
That's just my thought, but
Well,
if, if we're willing to pay more for it, then, then they are, the primary bidder is being taken advantage of by the fact they bid lower. We're getting that all the time. It's a two-sided coin.
well, we're saying that the primary bidder is unable to perform at that point, like what happens when we go pick up rock and it's not available. We don't ask the other rock supplier to lower their price to meet the other bid, because they won't do it. We just go pick it up.
Okay, and
So, my motion stands.
My second one.
okay. Any other discussion on the item? Okay. All in favor of the motion by Commissioner Kincannon, excuse me, each of you made that.
I made the motion.
Okay. Wrote them down backwards. By Beason and then second by Fincannon, to accept the bid from Wichita Mortuary Services and name Howard Mortuary Services the alternate. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried 5-0. All right. Item 3, do you all have any other questions? Either of you? Y'all are welcome to stay for the rest of this entertaining meeting, but
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank y'all both.
Okay. Item 3, discuss, consider, take action on restricting certain fireworks classified as skyrockets with sticks under 49 CFR Part 173.100, parentheses R, parentheses 2, parentheses 100186 edition, are missiles with fins in any portion of the unincorporated areas of Wichita County, and authorize county judge to sign the order. This is to take in those that we can restrict by this time. And as the gentleman from the fireworks wholesaler that was here was talking about, they really don't push those because they are a greater fire hazard than the others that are meant to dissipate totally in the air. Do you all want to do anything on that or not?
We've already,
Is there anybody here that wants to speak on it or on the phone that wants to speak on it? No. And I will say a couple of things because I didn't know exactly where this request came from, if it was a citizen complaint or just something
No.
you wanted to enact. I personally don't see a reason at this point to create a law to regulate businesses in Wichita County. This morning I got off the phone with the fire chief for the Texas Forestry Service, asked him how the current conditions were in Wichita County. He said they were fair. I specifically wanted him to ask about the drought conditions, because I asked drought conditions and he said fair. He went in and looked at the actual statistics that were from last Thursday. He said half of Wichita County is fair and half is moderate drought. Texas Forestry Service themselves have not been on the fire in 2 weeks. He said with the rain that we've received in the last, knock on wood. He said with the rain that we've received in the last 2 weeks that things have really greened up. He didn't really see a reason to enact such an ordinance. My big deal on this is we received a presentation by a fireworks supplier. They talked about how their fireworks supplies are purchased a year to 2 years in advance. So right now, all your fireworks suppliers that are setting up stands right now, if you enact this order, you're going to make them basically have to get rid of part of the inventory they've already bought. I just don't.
Understood from the wholesaler
That they're not-
they weren't
they're not-
available.
Well, that wholesaler talked about how they regulate, they don't push any of the big stick stuff anymore. This order pertains to any kind of rockets with fins, any kind of rockets with sticks. It's a little bit over. And he said that what he said in our deal was his presentation was they have cut down how they push those nowadays. They don't really try to push them. All I'm saying is that if you enact this right now, you're taking their inventory and I don't own a fireworks stand. This doesn't bid them.
You're assuming that they're taking their inventory.
Correct. And you're assuming that you're not? I mean, I don't know why the government wants to step in and create laws to regulate something. There again, you punish everybody for somebody that made a mistake? I don't know.
Well, it's kind of my understanding, listening to them talk, they're already self-regulating this anyway. They're not pushing them, they're not selling them, so we're going through an exercise in futility.
The problem with this, in my viewpoint, is this is we're trying to regulate the wrong thing. Somebody that's careless with fireworks will start a fire with a match or anything else. I don't know that the government at any level has the ability to regulate every aspect of our lives. And once again, let's go back to where we are, back to the keys buying them, back to the conditions. We are deteriorating by the hour, starting about 48 hours ago. We could be in very dire straits by the 4th of July. But with the way things are structured, we can't really do anything about that, Judge, because we've got, I guess other than an outright declaration of a disaster or something like that, we've got to make these decisions, 30 days ahead or something like that.
Get out our crystal ball.
It's we are headed back in the other direction. The rainy spring is over, and yesterday was a tremendous. Once again, we're regulating the wrong thing. If somebody sets a fire, we need to hold them accountable, no matter what they do. And they are financially reliable. I mean, they're financially liable for any damage they do. I just don't know that you can control this with this deal. But I understand what you're trying to do, and I get it. I just don't know if this is the tool to do it.
Well, it's a tool we were given to make a decision on, and now we have a deadline on having to do that. I just think you remove one other possibility, which most of the dealers don't use, and you might, it's a little hard to say this after the fire, that say, well, that person was careless, or, you all didn't restrict those, so we didn't think they were dangerous. It's like you've always told me, you make half the people happy and half of them mad, at least.
Whatever decision you make is going to be wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem you run into. It just is, and you can't legislate your responsibility or against your responsibility, and that's what you might do.
Well, that's what most of our laws are.
I agree with you 100%. They're working on some in Washington right now, but I won't get on my soapbox about that. But anyway, I don't know. I get it. I understand what kind of, I own real property. It's been on fire before. It's a very bad deal when it happens, but I don't think this is going to prevent it.
It just offers you one more tool. My goal in this was put it out there so you all can decide on it.
Yeah, I appreciate your effort.
Okay. So there's no motion in support of this. Okay, we'll move on. Item 4 is discuss and determine if a burn ban is necessary based on current Keach Byram level, index level, and the weather conditions in Wichita County. Well, Keach Byram is not, it's the highest reading in the county is 491, 575 is the tip point.
Next week, Judge.
Could be.
Next week, we may be there.
Average is 395.
Yeah,
It's headed in that
395.
direction.
So
No action.
I don't think we have the numbers to do it.
I agree with that. Okay, item 5 is consider and take action to authorize county judge to sign Defense Logistics Agency Law Enforcement Support LESO application for participation, authorized screeners letters, authorizing participation of the Wichita County Sheriff's Office in the program. Gosh, that's a whole dissertation itself, just the name of it. Chief, you all submitted this, in your case.
1033 program.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a quick question on that.
Yes, sir.
Through your office on that 1033, if one of our constables is actually looking at that, or is able to look at it, finds anything, is he able to contact you and pick up something soon?
I think looking at transaction has to be the one to do all the paperwork.
Okay. I'm just confirming that.
You just have to do the accountability, depending on what class of it. Some stuff, when they give it to you, they could care less about it. Other things, they want to know for 3 years that you have it, and then other things you never own, it's always the federal government's. Yeah. Okay. Any other comments on this? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion 5-0. Item 6, receive the end of the month investment report for May by Bob Anthony, County Treasurer.
More gentlemen,
Sir.
you got,
Bring my copy.
you got your print out everything last week, so
Look over your shoulder.
It's on the right-hand side. Raise it up. Oh, okay.
okay, Brandon, what did I do wrong?
He went to sleep.
It was working right now.
Meaningless for last year.
Okay. All right. First of all, the jail monies, right now, we're still at, by the end of the month, just so you'll know, we had $840,011.43 still in our account. There's some outstanding stuff, but that's where we were at the end of May.
What was that dollar amount again? And the jail?
$840,000, the jail fund, $11.43.
Bob, is there any time limit when we have to spend that, or is it, can we just hold it in?
Not that I'm aware of.
You had to spend 75% of
It's
it.
dedicated money.
Yeah,
You can't,
I know, we,
I think there's an exception to the Hawaiian trip for the treasurer.
I would say.
I'm not
no,
sure.
we do have a couple of things, a couple of larger ticket items that we want to take care of.
Actually, Steve and I signed up for a training session in Bermuda, so I knew you got that.
Bermuda?
Count on your face.
You wearing Bermuda shorts?
So we need a room in that WC?
By the way, Steve Jones is our treasurer-elect. Did everybody, Steve? Yeah. Moving right along, on the end of May, these are your financial investments up here, which includes $17,120,000. Our ready cash here is right at $20 million. The reason I'm telling you these numbers, we'll look back at this here in a second, simply because right here, the total is on the general fund came $58,726,643.07. That actually represents a 20% increase in where we were the trailing 12 months in 2021. And that printout, of course, is in your packet that I just gave you, the 2021.
How are you accounting for ARPA funds in that machine?
ARPA is yet to be, has nothing to do with general fund.
Okay, good. I just wanted to be sure it wasn't in there.
We'll get to ARPA here in a minute. Matter of fact, we've got an interesting report. And the auditor might want to give you that report, but I'll be glad to start it anyway. But here, the reason I pointed out the two differences in the 20% improvement over where we were 12 months ago was the fact that this is the way I have always kept the monies available. That middle line, this is our, what I call our liquid money right here to cover bills. And so here, we're basically the same place we were 12 months ago. The increase, of course, is in our investment dollars, $17 million, as opposed to, if you look at your sheet, we had $6,370,000 invested 12 months ago. Basically because there weren't any investments out there to be had. Moving on down to where you guys, the majority of you guys are concerned is your personal accounts, and that increase right here. Right now there's $9,347,102.74, which represents a 51% improvement of where we were 12 months ago. A little over $3 million improvement. So that's pretty cool. I'm sure it has to do with the auditor's improved tracking technique. This inventory of investments, though, it gives us our weighted average, and that goes along with our, right here, our weighted average length, just a little over 2 years. And you've got a copy of it there in your stack that I gave you. And last but not least, just to give you an idea of where we are, you've got this copy in your file too. The Dow Jones closed last Thursday at 32,272. A year ago, it was 34,466. Net change for just the year to date is down 11%. It's, believe it or not, the Dow is, and I look at this every morning, have always done it since I've been in the brokerage business. Every morning, the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ, they're all down. The Dow is down 800 points right now as we speak. What's really interesting is the crude oil. Last Thursday it sold at $122 a barrel. A year ago it was $70.29. Net change for just the year, 6 months change, is 62% increase. 62% increase. So some other information that's in your packet that you may or may not want to read, but it's interesting to get an idea of where the market is. They're probably going to increase the Fed rate 75 basis points rather than 50 basis points. What I've read is the consumer spending is still up, and supposedly this is the Fed's idea of fighting inflation. What this basically does is take the money off the table, though, and it creates a tremendous hardship on working people. The people that are living check to check. And increased spending the last couple of months. Once again, Washington, Bob Hampton's opinion, of course, Washington always thinks that we're not smart enough to figure things out. So that's why people have been out spending, because they know things are going to get worse, and they're actually stockpiling. So that's where we are. And if they increase another 75 basis points, that will impact home building, mortgage rates. It's a horrible domino effect. Closing on that positive note, I'm still thinking about Commissioner Beason singing the national anthem. One of those deals you wish you never brought up.
Please, you skip to the side of
The curiosity alone. Yeah. Any questions?
The permanent improvement fund balance, that's part of that is what's in your investments, and then there's another portion of that as part of the general fund.
Permanent Improvements 401 account is a sub-account of the general fund, but the majority of it is standalone on the second page of your report that you're looking at.
Okay.
It has definitely taken a significant hit, but we've been planning on that. So
The true fund balance is like 3.4 million.
Okay, that's where I was headed. Thank you.
Where is the balance, Cheryl? Where do I see the balance in just general fund investments?
I'm not sure where Bob's got it. He does have some money market sitting out there separately, but there's probably a good chance that the pooled cash for 401 is actually sitting in one of these general fund investments because it is in the general operating bank account. So we probably have something mixed in there.
Shirley, did you say 2.4?
3.
3.4.
3.4.
I checked it this morning.
And then,
And our second tranche of ARPA did come in this last week, so.
Oh, yay.
Yes.
so that was 12 point,
12.5, I think it is, so. So we got our full 25.6 million. They didn't hold anything back, so
okay.
we're moving forward on that. And I think we're working on some contracts, so we'll start seeing money going out the door on that.
As long as we can get them done and paid for.
Right.
The done part's what worries
It's the
me the
done
most.
part.
Working on it.
Are we accounting for the ARP funds? Are they in a separate account?
separate account.
Yeah, and it's all liquid cash so that we can access it. It's all in the money market. It's in a money market, but yes, so it's earning quite a bit of interest currently.
Okay. Because that's what we've talked about as we meet these obligations is on the larger ones is let's hold on to some of that. And I think we've talked about that
Yep.
with the Wichita Valley Fund.
There's no stipulations on what the interest can be used for.
No, we actually get to keep the interest. That is unusual. Usually interest earned on any federal grant like this has to be paid back, but we get to keep the interest. So, and it's just collecting in that account currently.
Will those ARPA projects be paid out over, a completion percentage, or do we have what the contract was like?
Probably each different.
Each contract is different depending on what it is. So like the food bank truck, we pay for it
Yeah, right,
upfront.
it's one time, yeah.
The Wichita Valley Water Project, we're looking at a tiered schedule where we give them a lump sum up front and then get quarterly payments.
Good.
That way they can get started, but then they have to, set to submit to those receipts and reports to me quarterly to be reported. So that way.
And we draw a little interest, so that's good.
That's correct. And it keeps us watching what they're doing and making sure they're staying on track as well.
Do we have back, there was in the policy of something we did new to require all of the people that we had money with other than like Tex Pool and things like that they've sent back the acknowledgement that they have reviewed our investment policy and
Yes,
our.
I've gotten
where we hold a lot of our CDs.
Okay.
Anything else from Mr. Hampton?
Unless you do.
Bob, I do have a question, like on the interest on the additional gen assets down there, as opposed to, what am I seeing differently? It's the front page.
Yeah, that's right here.
What calculates that interest on those general additional assets?
The coupon, those are all CDs, more or less. Here you are right here. See the coupon right here? This is the coupon rate. This is where the monies are being held. And then this, the maturity date highlighted by each respective year.
But
And then the green shows you the monthly income of that particular vehicle.
well, what is I guess I'm seeing is the difference of $5,000 monthly between, if you look at the subtotal securities and as opposed to the additional gen assets, one produces 10 grand a month and the other's producing 15 grand a month on a relatively same amount of dollars.
Where are you looking at, Jeff?
Under interest income,
Right?
the subtotal securities, the ones that are just liquid in the bank, the middle line,
Okay.
that interest right there shows to be 15 grand.
Oh, 50 grand, yeah. Okay, see the coupon right here? This is our checking account right here. That's the reason I've always wanted to keep as little amount as in checking account. It only pays 10 basis points. That's 0.1. The gold account, which we keep the preponderance of our money, is paying 85 basis points, 0.85. So that's, that money pays monthly, both, all those accounts, actually. And so $96 as opposed to 15 grand.
Just tell me, Bob, that if you had 19 million in your retirement account, you'd be along pretty good on a monthly basis.
Well, you kind of scratch mine.
That ought to be everybody's goal, is to have 19 million in your retirement.
But
I wish I'd been thinking like that when I was 23.
Yeah, but we weren't smart enough at 23.
But Bob, what I'm seeing is that the 20 million on the bottom
Yes, sir.
is earning far less than the 20 million that's in liquid.
Well,
This one here.
This
only because, see, these are laddered accounts, Jeff. That's a good question, but these are laddered, and so you're looking at monies coming in.
that don't show up
Each-
until a lump.
Yeah,
Payment?
yeah. So you can't compare it.
Okay.
That really is apples and oranges.
Okay.
Now, these are monthly numbers, and then these are like, some pay quarterly, and some pay monthly. But, the quarterly interest, you're still getting more money simply because, see, the coupon over here, the majority of those are better than 1%. 1%.
Right.
Oh, you're saying the monthly?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not seeing all the quarterly.
Right.
Good question. What's significant though is right here at the bottom, is I want to, all that together, in the month of May, we accumulated $41,000 worth of interest.
pretty good.
Which, people walk away from the most doors.
Can you put a cover, or requires you to sign off? Usually you sign off on the colored printouts you give us, but I didn't see the signature on these.
Do you have a sign sheet or something?
Thank you.
Don't you usually give us?
Anything else?
Thank you, Bob.
Okay, Commissioner Beason, update on courthouse renovation, elevator projects, and county courthouse annex.
I'll get a recording of last week's meeting and say the same thing. We're pretty much doing the same stuff that we were last week, except we're getting concrete at the annex now. So maybe get that sidewalk out of the way.
Anybody right after the report, or
Yeah. Or just building walls and putting, yeah. You can go sign the concrete? No, please.
no.
Yeah, pretty much projects are running like they should be right now, just a lot of it. Just not done anything terribly exciting right now. I know it's not on the agenda to speak about the LEC, but can I bring it up just briefly? Our 11-month walk that we had last week? Or do I need to put that on the agenda for next
Needs
week?
to be, yes, sir.
Okay. I'll put that on, can we put that on the agenda or add it back to this section that we'll talk about the LEC? Okay, thank you.
Sorry to ask you, if it were on the agenda, what would you say? But that won't work yet.
No. We'll do it correctly.
Yeah, I don't want Tracy raising her eyebrows at me.
Resign your position and you can make a public comment.
Got to take the tie off and go sit down.
All righty, anything else? Okay, it is 10:41, and that will conclude this meeting.
Very good.